You are not a prisoner of your brain's past. You are the sculptor of its future. Welcome to Vedira. In this sacred space where wisdom and science dance together, we ask not just what is, but what could be. Today we explore one of the most liberating truths ever uncovered by neuroscience. The brain is not fixed. It is flexible, alive, and constantly changing. And this means, so are you. Have you ever whispered to yourself in defeat, "I'm just wired this way"? Have you believed that anxiety is your destiny, that emotional reactivity is just your personality, that peace is reserved for the monks in distant mountains? That's the illusion we begin with. A deeply ingrained belief that our mental habits, our anger, our sadness, our stress, are permanent fixtures of who we are. But what if this isn't true? What if the blueprint of your mind isn't cemented in childhood, but still under construction, even now? What if your brain, that remarkable organ humming quietly behind your thoughts, is waiting for you to guide it towards serenity? This is not philosophy. This is science. And it begins with one elegant word: neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to change its structure and function in response to experience. Every time you learn, reflect, choose a different path, or even pause before reacting, your brain reshapes itself. Literally. This episode is your invitation to become a conscious architect of that change. We will trace the path from ancient meditation halls to modern MRI labs, from the silence of a monk's breath to the synaptic flash of rewiring neurons. We will unearth the spiritual and scientific tools that allow you to rebuild your mind, calmer, stronger, wiser. And most importantly, we will discover together that peace is not a place you find. It's a state you build. Let's begin. Neuroplasticity, the brain's hidden superpower. To understand the path to inner peace, we must first understand the nature of the brain itself, not just as a biological machine, but as a fluid, responsive, and astonishingly adaptive organism. Neuroplasticity, at its core, is the capacity of the brain to form and reorganize synaptic connections, especially in response to learning or experience. It means your brain is not hardwired like a computer but soft-wired like clay. Let's imagine this with a metaphor. Picture a vast field of snow. The first time you walk across it, your footsteps leave a faint trail. Walk the same path again and the trail becomes more defined. Keep walking it and soon there's a visible path through the snow. This is how thoughts become habits, how reactions become personalities. But neuroplasticity tells us this. You are not confined to that trail. You can step off the path. You can carve a new one. Every breath you take in mindfulness, every moment you pause instead of react, every act of compassion, these are new footsteps, new trails, new circuits. Your brain responds. In neuroscience labs, we now see how meditators and mindful practitioners literally rewire regions of their brain. The amygdala, our fear center, shrinks. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for conscious awareness and decision-making, strengthens. The default mode network, tied to rumination and anxiety, quiets down. But here's the deeper truth. Ancient traditions already knew this. Before we had fMRI scans, we had stillness. Before we had neurons, we had breath. Buddha said, "With our thoughts, we make the world." You didn't need a lab. You had insight. The merging of science and spirituality reveals something profound. You don't have to escape your thoughts to find peace. You can change the nature of thinking itself. And that change? It begins with awareness. Not of the world outside, but of the patterns within. We move now into how these ancient practices ignite neuroplastic change, and how you can begin this transformation today. Ancient wisdom meets modern neuroscience. In the temples of India, the forests of China, and the caves of Tibet, seekers sat in silence. Not to escape the world, but to reshape the mind. Meditation, mantra, breath control, visualization. These weren't mystical rituals, they were technologies of transformation. Long before science gave it a name, sages practiced neuroplasticity with deep intentionality. Let's break down the synergy between old wisdom and new research. Person in lotus position meditation, for example, has been shown to increase gray matter in areas related to emotional regulation, strengthen neural pathways that govern compassion and calm, reduce activity in the default mode network, the home of ego chatter. Prayer beads mantra repetition, once seen as merely spiritual, is now known to synchronize brain rhythms, reduce stress hormone production, anchor attention, building stronger neural circuits of focus. Wind-faced pranayama, breath regulation, triggers the vagus nerve, calming the nervous system and signaling safety to the brain. Repeated practice embeds this calmness as a default response. These aren't isolated effects. They represent a profound insight. Inner peace is a neurological skill, not a passive state. And every time you practice stillness, presence, or loving kindness, you are lighting up and reinforcing the neural architecture of serenity. This is why ancient scriptures often describe enlightenment as a process of remembrance, not becoming something new, but returning to a deeper truth. The mind, like water, becomes still when undisturbed. Neuroplasticity offers the tools. Wisdom offers the direction. But now comes the most empowering part: action. Let us turn to specific practices that allow you to sculpt your brain toward calm, clarity, and inner peace, beginning today. Practical pathways to peace. Knowing that your brain can change is powerful. Knowing how to change it is transformative. Let's walk through actionable, science-backed micro-practices you can begin right now. Small daily acts that gently guide your brain toward calm. Small blue diamond mindful breathing, 2 to 5 minutes/day. Sit in silence and simply observe your breath. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Each breath brings awareness to the present. Brain neural effect. Trains attention circuits, reduces amygdala reactivity, and strengthens prefrontal regulation. Small blue diamond gratitude journaling, 3 things/day. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. Big or small. Let yourself feel it. Brain neural effect. Activates dopamine and serotonin pathways. Encourages rewiring toward positivity. Small blue diamond conscious pause before reacting. When emotion arises, pause. Take 1 breath. Then choose. Brain neural effect. Builds new response circuits, reduces autopilot behavior, increases emotional intelligence. Small blue diamond visualization of peace, 5 minutes/day. Imagine a version of yourself that is already peaceful, grounded, joyful. Feel it as if it's real. Brain neural effect. Engages mirror neurons, rehearses new identity circuits, accelerates brain patterning. Small blue diamond daily silence, 10 to 15 minutes. No music. No input. Just be. Let thoughts pass like clouds. Brain neural effect. Trains the observer mindset, decouples identity from thought. These are not just habits. They are invitations to rewire your mind. Not once, but daily, gently, consistently. Because the truth is this: inner peace isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you become. With every breath of mindfulness, every choice of stillness, every moment of gratitude, you are reshaping your brain into a sanctuary. Not by force, but by design. Your design. And so, beloved seeker, this is your sacred power. You are not your old neural patterns. You are not your past reactions. You are not wired that way. You are the sculptor of your serenity, the architect of your awareness, the alchemist of your peace. Let this truth settle deep within. Your brain is changing, and with it, your world. At Vedira, we believe wisdom and science are not separate. They are reflections of the same sacred mirror. Neuroplasticity is not just a biological fact. It is the modern echo of ancient truth. That consciousness, guided with intention, can heal the mind and reveal the self. So begin today. Rewire not just for productivity or success, but for peace. Because in the quietest parts of your mind, your truest self is waiting. Come. Present. Free. Thank you for journeying with Vedira. Until next time, stay aware, stay kind, and remember, peace is not a destination. It is the path itself.